Hogan, thoughts on where we are on the economy and the president's standing with the people?
Okay, one of the most offensive things you can do to a voter is tell them what they are experiencing isn't real. You saw that with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden telling us that the border was closed. It wasn't. Telling us that the economy was good. It wasn't. Telling us that crime was down. It wasn't. The difference here is when Donald Trump goes out and says the economy's better, he's right. It's truthful. That's the difference. However,
What?
do the American people, well, hold
By
on,
what
Ashley.
measure are we talking about the
Hold on,
economy
Ashley.
is better? I mean,
Hold on,
again,
Ashley. I'll give you a few
the
stats.
Treasury Secretary said we're in a recession. How can it be
I'll
better?
give you a few stats. Inflation was at 9% under Joe Biden. It's now down in between 3 and 2.5%, thanks to Donald Trump and his policies. Groceries were at an all-time high under Joe Biden. They're now lower. Gas was at an all-time high. It's now lower. Energy was at an all-time high under Biden. It's now lower under Trump. The border is closed. All these things happen, but we're talking about the economy here. The American people aren't necessarily feeling all the good of it because a couple things. One is the big beautiful bill. 67% of the American people didn't even realize the country's largest tax cut in history is in that bill. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, doesn't take effect until next year. That's part of it. There's a lag. In addition, though, I think the American people, we got to be careful here as the administration messages it moving forward, and I think they're doing a pretty good job of it. That is, what the American people feel may not necessarily jive with reality, but you have to couch it in those terms because it is way better. The economy is measurably,
Hogan,
provably better than under
you're
Joe Biden, but it's not where it was in 2020
okay.
under
Listen, but you're
Donald Trump when
making
he
a
left
mistake.
office. So he's got to get back to those numbers if at all possible. And I don't know if
You're,
that's possible because they were so out of control under the previous
okay,
administration.
but you're making the mistake that you just cautioned against. You're trying to convince people that what they're experiencing isn't reality, and what they're experiencing is a bad economy. And again, at the president's secretary, treasury secretary's own words, we're in a recession. So you're actually making the mistake that you're cautioning against, which is trying to convince people that what they're experiencing isn't reality. So
I
I
said a
mean,
lot of it wouldn't take effect, and I told them to caution them on the messaging because in reality, getting back to where the numbers were pre-pandemic is going to be quite difficult. But you've already beaten Joe Biden's economy by miles.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America. And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and two-way tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.